Scientists tells us that a shadow appears only when something blocks the light. In other words, a shadow is evidence. Evidence that something stands between us and the source of illumination. A shadow can be seen, it can move, it can change shape, it can even appear larger than the object casting it. Yet, a shadow has no power of its own. It is not the cause, it is only the effect, and scientists understand this. That is why they do not just stop at the shadow, they move beyond it. They try to study and understand what is casting the shadow. Many of the things we struggle with every day are shadows. The argument may be a shadow. The fear may be a shadow. The failure may be a shadow. The symptom may be a shadow. The visible problem often points to an invisible cause, which raises a very important question. Are we fighting the shadow, or we're searching for what is casting the shadow? In Nigeria, for instance, we often argue about the shadows we see every day: unemployment, poor leadership, lack of infrastructure, frustration, failing systems. But the question is not just what the shadow is. The question is, what is blocking the light? What if the shadow is being cast because we're neglecting our responsibilities as citizens? What if the shadow is being cast by silence where accountability is needed? What if the shadow is being cast because we fail to hold our leaders responsible? What if the shadow is being cast because we tend to normalize everything that happens? So that means the solution is not fighting the shadow, rather it is identifying and removing what is obstructing the light. Today on The Fact, I'm going to be sharing 3 truths that will help us address all the shadows we face in our lives. First, the shadow is not the cause, it is only the effect. Many people spend their entire lives fighting symptoms instead of solving real problems. A student may be experiencing failure in school. Failure is just a shadow. The real problem may be poor studying habits. A person may be constantly struggling with anger. Anger is just a shadow. The problem may be unresolved hurts. A worker may always be late to work. Note, lateness is a shadow. The problem could be poor discipline. So the lesson is simple. Don't just stop at what you see. Ask what is causing it. Lesson number 2. A shadow can appear bigger than reality. Note that a small object can cast a very large shadow depending on the position of the light. So also, some problems can appear bigger than they are. One bad result can make you think the future is ruined. One rejection can make you feel you're not good enough. One mistake can make a person feel like a failure. But remember, the size of the shadow does not determine the size of the obstacle. Before you panic, look again and assess the situation carefully. You may discover the problem is much smaller than it first appeared. Lesson number 3. Every shadow is evidence that light exists. A shadow can only exist where there is light. So if there is a shadow, it certainly means there is a source of illumination nearby. So whenever you encounter a shadow in your life, don't lose hope. The challenge you are facing may actually be proof that an opportunity, a breakthrough, a lesson, or a blessing is within reach. Your task is not to become obsessed with the shadow. No, that's not your task. But rather, your task is to identify and remove whatever is blocking the light. So instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is standing between me and my goals? So instead of complaining about the shadow, find the obstacle. Because when the obstacle is removed, the light shines through and the shadow disappears. This is The Fact, revealing the truth. Thank you.